Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, before I get into the topics, I always want to give a shout out to the leadoff batter in Avatar. Avatar says, "What's up, Broncos country and 2023 NBA champs, Nuggets Nation?" Absolutely. Let's hope we can put a Super Bowl championship real soon on the Broncos and add that in there. How that would sound really good. Also, before I get into topics, I'm not expecting, but there could be a power outage in the area where I live. Hurricane Hillary. Yeah, that's right, guys. In the Pacific, going up the coast of Baja and into Southern California is expected to hit its beginning, heavy rains and wind and all that anytime within the next hour. So if I go blank, it's not my fault, guys. I promise you, it's not my fault. I have no control. Just giving you a heads up in case that happens. All right. First topic. I'm going to go over the Broncos Cardinals first preseason game. I had kind of mixed emotions on that. The very first series by the Broncos were 3 and out again. 3 and out. I mean, how much we saw that last year with Hackett. Now, is Sean Payton a Nathaniel Hackett? No, not at all. Not at all. But the problem that I see is Russell Wilson still isn't fixed. Now I'm going to get into that. Don't start throwing out the comments in the chat saying, come on, he played better down the road. Yes, he did, but not against the first string of the Cardinals. The Cardinals came out and played their first string dang near the entire game until, I don't know, maybe later on in the second quarter. I'm not sure. I know we got a touch. I'll get to that. But what I'm saying is, the first 3 plays, the Broncos came out in that preseason and they stunk up the joint. 3 and out again. And yes, we did move the ball, but we didn't score any points other than a field goal, which was made by, and I'll get into that too, it was made by a kicker that the Broncos cut. What? We cut anyway, okay, I'll get into that. Going back to the game and Russell Wilson, they had to, Sean Payton had to keep him in for a 4th series because he wanted to get that touchdown. And it came down to 4th down. Let me get into that. So Denver got off to a 10-0 lead with Wilson completing 4 of 9 passes for 49 yards through the first 3 series. So Sean Payton kept him out there for 1 more series, and he hit Jerry Jeudy for a touchdown of 21 yards on 4th down. Now, do you think Nathaniel Hackett would have gone for it on 4th down? Well, first off, he would not have had his regulars playing in the preseason. That's for dang sure. So he probably would not have gone for it. Sean Payton says, hey, we're playing this like I mentioned last week. Sean Payton says, we're playing every game like it's a real season game, like it's a playoff game. We play it to win. He doesn't care if it's preseason, regular season, postseason. He doesn't care. He wants to win because he wants to instill that attitude in the players. You don't just go out there and go, hey, it's preseason. Hey, whatever. I got an interception. No big deal. Yes, it is. To Sean Payton, it is. And it should be to every diehard Broncos fan. We want wins, period. I know I was frustrated that we lost. I was absolutely frustrated because of the way we lost. Again, letting the other team come down the field, boom, get a touchdown and 2-point conversion with 2 seconds left. Really? Seriously. I know it was 3rd string or whatever string, it doesn't matter. Like Sean Payton says, I don't care if it's 1st string or whatever the last string is. It doesn't matter to him. He wants the best out of their players, and they didn't provide it. They did not provide it in this game, and this scares me because we only got 2 more preseason games left, guys. Only 2. We're in San Francisco this Saturday, tomorrow, and I'll touch on that towards the end of the show. But we We have to instill a winning attitude. And Sean Payton's trying to do that, but it fell apart in week 1. And then you got Arizona players going, look, see, hey, they ain't nothing. They ain't nothing with Sean Payton. We beat him. Yeah, you beat him because you kept your freaking first string in there. That's why. And because the Broncos decided to go into prevent defense and prevent themselves from winning. 2 formulas that don't work very well for the Broncos. Opposite team's first string against our third string, and you let them down the field. Final result, 18-17. Just like I said, 18-17. Let them go right down the field. I mean, why not? I mean, it's preseason. So, I mean, I know you got to see what the guys can do, and you got to put them in there and let them, play, and hopefully they catch on, know how to do it. Obviously, not these guys, because it didn't work. And I understand, when you're at a goal line or doing it for 2 points, they put the ball on the 2-yard line and you got the whole offensive line just pushing, the running back in. I get that. Doesn't matter. They shouldn't have been in that position. The Broncos should not have even allowed that touchdown. It was an easy touchdown. Guy was wide open in the corner of the end zone. Really? Come on, man. This has to get better. We don't have much time left before regular season starts in September. That's not that far away, guys. Not that far away. All right. Avatar says, one of my coworkers is going to SoCal this weekend. Ooh. What for? Hopefully he's gonna. I don't even know. I don't even know if the airports are going to be open. I'm not sure. San Diego is, like I said, I'm in between San Diego and LA, but I'm down here, so I'm like in a triangle. And I'm on the east side of both of them, and in the middle. But I'm telling you, I don't know if San Diego Airport's going to be open. I doubt it, because that's where the brunt of Hurricane Hillary is supposed to go through. I know this is not a weather show, but Avatar mentioned it, so I want to mention everybody out there that maybe in Southern California watching this, anywhere else, have family, whatever. This is serious. San Diego, LA. The Inland Empire where I live, we're not used to this. This has never happened in all the records kept in Southern California or California in general. This hurricane is going to stretch all the way once it comes through San Diego and goes up more inland. It's going to go all the way into Utah. Yeah, that's right, guys. All the way into Utah. It's going to be felt hard, and this is not a joke. But anyways, I wish your coworker all the best, Avatar. I really do. Hope he's safe. LA International LAX probably won't shut down unless they absolutely have to. But San Diego most likely will. And then it'll work its way up the coast and maybe more inland, so LA won't have to be affected, because that is an absolute major hub on the West Coast. All right. Let's see. Avatar says that was their 4th-string quarterback that won the game. Avatar, did you have to put the nail in the coffin for me? I mean, I'm trying to think that we lost to like their 1st string. Golly, 4th string against our 3rd string. Well, looks like looks like I'm looking at my next topic. It looks like Sean Payton has a lot of work cut out for him. Absolutely a lot of work cut out. I mean, if a 4th-string quarterback is going to be able to have that much success against our 3rd-string defense, we suck. But hopefully we won't have to have our 3rd-string guys. But you never know. I mean, I'm going to talk about injuries coming up, and it never ends. So you're going to have to rely on these guys. How deep does it go? I don't know. But if these guys can't perform against the Arizona Cardinals, who stink up the joint year after year after year, and we lose to them, I know, guys, it's preseason. I don't care. I don't care. We have to know what these guys can do at their best, at their absolute best. And if this is our best, we are in deep kimchi, big time. We are in trouble, absolutely in trouble, because once your 1st string goes down, heaven forbid, now you have a 2nd string. Well, he's going to need to be replaced from time to time. So then you put the 3rd string in, and then what? Boom, touchdown. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. Okay. Continuing with that game, a lot of heat has been put on Russell Wilson ever since he came to Denver. Now that Sean Payton is a Broncos head coach, things will hopefully look a lot better. Under Wilson's numbers in his first game under Payton was mostly positive. They were 7 for 13, 93 yards, and a touchdown. He also had a quarterback rating of 102.4. Now, that never happened under Hackett. Again, guys, I know Hackett didn't allow the regulars to play in preseason. Sean Payton does. This is a preseason rating. It doesn't matter to me. I've mentioned it many, many times. It doesn't matter to me. I want production. I want the best. I'm a diehard fan, guys. If you haven't realized that now, you should realize it. Or I should say, if you haven't realized it before, you should realize it now. I'm a diehard fan. I want a win every single game. Every game. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's preseason. I don't care if it's practice. I want the offense to score points. Period. I'm just saying. I don't want to, we've had enough losing throughout the season. Seasons, I should say. We've had enough losing. I want to see W's. W's. Like this. I want to see a W next to the Broncos. I don't care when they play. I want to see it. All right. Avatar says, I hope for more DiNucci than Stidham. Boy, DiNucci looked good. Did he not? He looked really, really good. I'm thinking, you know what, Avatar? I think you're onto something. I think that DiNucci has a better chance of being the backup to Wilson than Stidham. And I'll tell you what, if heaven forbid, if anything were to happen to Wilson, I think DiNucci is the guy. I really do. The guy looked phenomenal. He looked really, really good on that drive that put us up 17-10. He looked really good. And I'm excited for this guy. I really am excited for him. All right. Now, after the game on last week, after the loss to the Cardinals, Denver has cut kicker. What? They cut kicker Fry and kept Maher? Fry was the only one that made a field goal. I mean, they both made extra points. Okay, good for them. But they both missed field goals. But then Fry hits a 55-yard field goal. Maher didn't make a field goal. In fact, his one. I'm just saying, guys, why would you? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Maher is a Sean Payton guy. He played for the Saints. I know, guys, he came from the Cowboys, but he played for the Saints with Sean Payton. But my question is, why would he leave New Orleans? I almost said St. Louis. Why would he leave New Orleans if he was that good? Cowboys picked him up. He didn't seem to be that good there. And then he comes to Denver, misses 2 field goals. Fry makes the field goal 55 yards, and they cut him. I know, guys, I know. It was because they said he had an injury related. Okay, well, is it that serious of an injury? They didn't say what it was, which frustrates me because I would like to know why you cut a guy who kicked 55-yard field goal for the other guy who didn't make a single one. If the injury is that bad, okay, I get it. Then why not say it? Why not put it out there? Why not let us fans know what it is? I want to know why you kept a guy who can't make a freaking field goal to a guy who did. I don't get it. Tell me what the freaking injury is. Why are you hiding it, Sean? Why are you hiding it? Or for that matter, why is George Payton or anybody else, hiding it? We deserve to know why you cut the guy who made the only field goal. Oh, my gosh. I wish we had Brandon McManus back again. That was the stupid freaking move ever. Ever. I I don't know, man. I'm starting to lose confidence in George Payton. I really am. Have no idea why you would cut him. And then you send him to the Jaguars. Oh, that's nice. In the AFC. If the Broncos make the playoffs, let's say, and you have to face Jacksonville, and it comes down to a 55 or 56-yard field goal, McManus is getting ready to kick it and win the game. And he does. In Denver, let's say. How are you going to feel? I'm gonna be sick to my stomach if that were to happen. Absolutely sick to my stomach. All right. Avatar says Fry's on injury reserve. I heard they cut him. I heard that they cut him due to an injury, but it wasn't disclosed as to what it was. So I don't know. I'm hoping maybe it's on injury reserve, but that's not what I saw, what I read. But hopefully you're correct, Avatar. All right. Injuries continue. It's always a risk playing your starters in preseason, and that risk was felt in the first quarter against the Cardinals. DJ Jones suffered a concussion and is in the NFL's concussion protocol. Jones will have to pass through 4 stages of recovery before being cleared to play again. Wow. Now, I know that the NFL is really trying to, make sure that player is 100% healthy and not like a Tua that we saw, several years ago and stagger on the field, nothing like that. They want to make sure that you're 100% healthy. But 4 stages, wow. That's a lot. Jones won't have an exact timeline for his return to the field due to the protocol. Wow. Okay, so he had that in game 1 of the preseason. There's game 2 and game 3 before the start of the regular season. He may not be back for the regular season starting, I should say. He may not be back until week 2 or 3. Who knows? Everybody's different. People heal differently. Some people never recover from a concussion, a serious one, depending on where it happens on the brain. You never know. I wish him all the best. But, man, these injuries continue. And I know people are going to say, see, you played the starters, and that's why you got the injury. No, that's not why you got the injury. You play the starters so that they can get in rhythm of the actual game. This could have happened in practice. Oh, I do have one that happened in practice. Oh, we shouldn't practice because guys can get injured. I can get injured walking out the front door and fall down and hit my head on something. And people get injured all the time doing anything. Yes, there's more dangerous what's the word I'm looking for? More dangerous jobs, I guess, careers than others. That's very true. Very, very true. But that's why, you try and condition these players to play at that level of being, competitive and all that in an actual game. And that's why you put them in the preseason. That's why you have practice. You try and simulate real time. Hard to do in practice. You don't want to hurt your teammate, but you still have to build up to that. And that's what preseason is about. This one did not happen in preseason. Brandon Johnson has an ankle sprain. It's not as severe as last year's injury. This comes from Mike Kliss, 9 News, Denver. He's expected back in a week or 2. This all occurred during practice. Okay, so what do we do? Stop practice? Is it the turf? Like I mentioned my show last week, is it the turf that's causing these guys to twist their ankles or, sprain their knees or do whatever? Is it the turf? Is it the cleats? Is it the type of drills they're doing? I mean, it could be all the above. It could be none of the above. It could be just something freaky. I don't know. But it sounds to me and seems to me like this stuff happens a lot, especially in practice. Are they not conditioned because they had too much time off and went and, kick back with their feet, kick back on, on Cancun and, on a boat and, going down the Riviera. I don't know what these guys do. Are they eating too much pizza and pasta and having a good old time? Most likely. Am I saying that's the cause? No, I'm not saying that's the cause. I'm just saying I don't know what it is. I don't know. But it just is crazy and weird to me that so many injuries have happened on the practice field. And then when you get to the actual real game, it happens again because maybe they're not completely conditioned. I don't know. I'd like to find out. That'd be kind of cool, but I don't know. Okay, going back to what Avatar said about Fry's on injury reserve, it said, no, he was cut and they picked up long snapper. Yeah, you're right. The long snapper they got. That's good. We need a long snapper, but we also need a guy who can kick a freaking field goal. I mean, the long snapper is important. He's got to get it back to the guy that's holding the ball. But we need a guy to be able to kick that freaking ball right through the uprights. Not to the side, but through it. Oh, hey. Welcome, Bronco and VA 9986. Good evening. Hey, nice to have you in the chat. As always, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bronco VA also says, every day you brace for updates on injuries. Oh, yeah, you do. And I've got some coming. Got some coming right here. But before we get to that, one more last comment by Bronco and VA. It says, the kicking game is crisis, probably the biggest crisis on this team. Points wise, yes. Points wise, I would have to agree. But I think the biggest crisis on the Broncos right now is offensive line. Garrett Bowles cannot block anybody. I don't think he could block my granddaughter who's 6 years old. I'm being facetious, but you know what I'm saying. The guy was a sieve in game one. I don't know where his head's at. I don't know if he understands even how to play left tackle. But anyways, I continue. And this is along the lines of injuries. Sean Payton, this is the topic. Hold on. This is the topic of the show. Broncos facing more injuries. Here it is. This one bothers me because it comes from Sean Payton's mouth. Sean Payton isn't worried about the growing injury group. Are you freaking kidding me? You're not worried about the injury group. Really? Seriously. We got two more games in preseason, and then we hit the ground running in regular season. Against who else? No, not anybody outside of our division. No, the Vegas Raiders in our division. Right out of the gate. It's going to be a statement game because whoever wins is going to be obviously one game above. That's what Sean Payton said. Sean Payton said, and I quote, for the most part, there's no reason to worry of the long list of did not practice and participate in any of the preseason games. End quote. Huh? There's no reason to worry for the long list. Let me tell you who's on that long list. And then you tell me if you're not concerned. Because I know this guy is. All right. This list is this. Patrick Surtain. Important. They're all important, but Patrick Surtain, Kwan Williams, Riley Moss, Justin Simmons, Benito, DJ Jones, Cortland Sutton, Hinton, Johnson, Manhurts, McGlinchey, Purcell, Browning, and Stearns. Are you kidding me? Sean Payton, have you lost your freaking mind? You're not concerned? You're not concerned one bit about any one of these players or that list of these players that are on there. Do you realize how many are starters and how many are predominantly needed in the Broncos on the Broncos team? Patrick Surtain, Moss as a receiver, Justin Simmons, Benito, Sutton, Hinton, Manhurst, McGlinchey, Purcell, Browning, and Stearns. Are you kidding me? I know I left some guys off there, but hey, I'm going down the list of the guys who are predominantly there all the time. And you're telling me you're not concerned. Dude. What in heaven's name have you been freaking drinking or smoking? You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. You're telling me you're not concerned, Sean? Really? You're trying to make me believe that? Because I ain't believing that for one freaking minute. There's no way I'm believing that. I'm concerned. I've been concerned about this Broncos team ever since we've had these injuries happening, as well as our porous offensive line. And you're telling me you're not concerned. I know you're the head coach. I know you know more about them than I do. I know that they may be little nicks and bruises and stuff like that. Well, then come out and say it. I know you don't want to tip your hat off to the teams that we're going to be playing. Come on, I get that, and that's a smart move. But don't sit there and tell me you're not concerned when we know that there's serious injuries on some of these guys that can keep them out for weeks. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, Sean. I've done my homework. I know. These guys are injured, and hopefully they can come back and be productive in the regular season. But if they're missing preseason under a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, although he was a head coach of the Broncos, Vance Joseph, but still defensive coordinator, new game plan, all of that, new plays, they have to have repetition. They have to have practice. They have to have preseason game action. If these guys are injured, they're going to go into the regular season just like last year, not having any single preseason snaps. And you say you're not worried. Wow. I don't want to say the word hack it, but it sounds pretty clear. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Last Monday, the Broncos made 2 roster moves. They signed wide receiver J.J. Keski to a 1-year contract. Wasn't disclosed the amount and all of that. They waived inside linebacker Ray Wilburn to make room for Koski. Koski was with the Rams his rookie season in 2020, where he was on their practice squad. However, in 2021, he appeared in 5 games. Okay? Now, that's great. That's well, and you know why we signed a wide receiver? Because we got these guys injured. That's why. We have to have somebody that can catch a freaking ball other than Jerry Jeudy. Cortland Sutton's injured. I know we got Dulcich, and we have Troutman and all that. Those are tight ends. I'm talking about wide receivers. So we had to sign somebody. Otherwise, Russell Wilson be going around there going, who the heck did I throw this ball to? I don't know. I guess I got Jerry Jeudy. Oh, yeah, he's quadruple covered. Guess that ain't going to work. Yes, you got to sign people. And that's what I'm saying. How in heaven's name can you not be concerned, Sean, that we have all these injuries? This blows my mind. All right. Okay, Avatar says Broncos only gave up 2 sacks in the game, 1 on Wilson. That's very true. 1 was on Wilson. You're right. And they only did give up 2 sacks. But I'm not necessarily, although Avatar, you got a great point in the fact that, yeah, sacks are detrimental because we lose yardage. But I'm talking about the situation where the offensive line, they curve like this, and then they bend, and then they break. And Russell Wilson only has a mere, maybe 2.5, 3 seconds to get rid of the ball. And he's not that kind of quarterback. He doesn't get rid of the ball like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady. He doesn't get rid of it quick. He hangs on to it, and he's got that big wind up and all of that stuff. So he needs protection to be able to go through his reads. He's not a 1, 2, 3 step back, boom, fire. He's not that kind of guy. Now, he did that to the Jerry Jeudy touchdown, but that was a slant from Jeudy on that 4th down play. That was a beautiful play. And he did do I think it was a 3-step drop and then fired the ball. But even then, you could see the offensive line was collapsing. The offensive line cannot hold up for whatever reason. I have no idea, no clue. I just know Bowles is not good. Bowles is not good, period. And I'm going to get into that in just a bit. In fact, it's coming up right now. Wilson compliments players. Russell Wilson complimented many teammates after yesterday's practice. He said about Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, he said, and I quote, "They can do special things." Absolutely. Absolutely they can. Well, Sutton's not on the field, so we don't know how many special moves that guy's going to make or how special things he can do. We do know he can. We just don't know when. We haven't seen him on the field. He talked about Troutman and Dulcich, tight ends. He says, and I quote, "having great days," end quote. Okay, maybe he's referring to, catching passes or blocking on a run or just, the assignments or whatever that is. Great. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Uh-oh. He said this about Garrett Bowles. Russell Wilson said, and I quote, "he's a tremendous left tackle," end quote. Russell, have you... By golly, that does say Bowles. What the heck? A tremendous left tackle? Oh, now I know you've lost it. Now I know you've lost it, Russell. You've absolutely lost it. You're drinking something other than what you should be, because that is preposterous. Now, we're talking practice. This is after practice. Okay, maybe in practice. But in practice, the Broncos defense is not going to try and knock Garrett Bowles on his keister. They're not going to do that. They don't want to hurt the guy. Well, maybe that might be a benefit. Anyways, they don't want to hurt the guy. So they're not going to go full steam and do what they normally would do in a game at full speed. Garrett Bowles, again, I got to say this again, guys. I'm dumbfounded. Russell Wilson said of Garrett Bowles, and I quote, "he's a tremendous left tackle," end quote. Tremendous at what? Holding? Oh, yeah, he's good at that. He's tremendous at that. And he's tremendous at, at other penalties. He's tremendous at letting the guys come around the edge and getting to Russell Wilson. Oh, yeah. Now I see what Wilson's saying. Yeah, he's a tremendous left tackle at doing all the bad things. That's what he's tremendous at. I mean, plain and simple. Garrett Bowles is not a good left tackle. Not at all. None whatsoever. He has little spurts now and then, but you watch every single game he gets a holding penalty. He may not have had a holding penalty in the preseason. I'm talking about last year. Last year, he was pathetic. Has he gotten any better? Obviously, according to Russell Wilson, he has. We'll find out Saturday against San Francisco. How's that? What he said about Cushenberry, and I quote, "extremely smart," end quote. I would agree with that. Cushenberry is a smart, intelligent person. Just needs to be a better center. That's all. Just needs to be able to learn to block and do all of his assignments that he has to do. Okay. He said of Miners, quote, "all muscle," end quote. Miners is a beast. Absolutely a beast. Yeah, great. I agree. And last, he says of McGlinchey, quote, "championship caliber player," end quote. Absolutely. Championship caliber. Yep, no doubt. Hopefully he can bring that to the Broncos and be part of the Broncos winning their fourth Super Bowl. Let's hope that happens. Not too far not too far down the road. I want it to be a lot closer to like next year. How's that? Okay. I'm going to get into one. I'm going to get into my first. Hang on a second. I'm going to rearrange this because I'm going to go in a different direction here. Same direction, just flipping the topics. So bear with me, guys. Okay. All right, here we go. Hall of Fame DeMarcus Ware. Now, we all know that DeMarcus Ware went to the Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago. Cowboy fans are not too thrilled with apparently what they get. Okay, everybody knows that on the Hall of Fame, you get your Hall of Fame bust, right? They unveil it in a whole bit. But along with your bust, you get like this little, I don't want to call it a shrine, but I guess for lack of a better term, you get like this glass case where you can put your memorabilia in there. And, from the teams you played with and things that are super important to you, that kind of thing. that you want to donate, or that they, not me or you or anything, but these players want to donate to the Hall of Fame to be forever enshrined. Well, Cowboy fans are outraged that the display for DeMarcus Ware in the Hall of Fame doesn't have a Cowboys jersey or a helmet. Why should it? Why freaking should it? DeMarcus Ware didn't win anything in Dallas. He didn't go to the playoffs. He didn't go to the Super Bowl, but he did in Denver. And not only did he go to the Super Bowl in Denver, he did it twice. Sure, first one we lost to Seattle, but he still win. And then we lost we lost, and then we won Super Bowl 50 in 2016. And DeMarcus Ware was on that team, and he was very instrumental in the Broncos winning that Super Bowl, along with the hand, obviously, of MVP Von Miller. DeMarcus Ware goes into the Hall of Fame with his little glass, cabinet encasing with a, ready for this? It only has, referring to what's in there with the Cowboys, it only has a football with his name and all-time sack leader, says Dallas Cowboys. It has a gold Super Bowl 50 football along with his number 94 jersey, 94 orange jersey, I should say, in that encasement. Why should he go? Why should he have Cowboy memorabilia in there? He didn't win a Super Bowl. He didn't win a Super Bowl in Dallas. He won the Super Bowl in Denver. Why in heaven's name would he want to put a Cowboys jersey in there? That's not where his legacy ended up. May have started there. Who cares? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And he finished a Super Bowl champion. So Dallas, hey, you know what? Nip it. Nip it in the bud. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. He has a football in there that says all-time sack leader by the Cowboys. Okay? Be satisfied with that. Cowboys haven't won jack diddly squat in a long time. So it's about time you guys shut up. Don't be butthurt, even though you're going to be, because you think that DeMarcus Ware punked you. Well, you know what? He didn't. All he did was emphasize the fact that I won a Super Bowl in Denver. They brought me here because they wanted me, because they knew I could help them win a championship. And that's exactly what he did. Dallas, be butthurt all you want. I could care less. Could care less. I love seeing that orange 94 jersey hanging on a hanger in that cabinet, along with the gold Super Bowl that says Super Bowl 50 on it. Love it, love it, love it. The only helmet that's in there, I believe, was his either a high school or college. More like college, I would think. There's a helmet in there with college. You guys check it out if you haven't seen it already. But love it. Right there, smack dab in the middle is that number 94 jersey hanging in there in all orange. Love it. Take that, Cowboy fans. Why would he represent Dallas when Dallas didn't do anything for him? Well, they did. They gave him to Denver, and we're forever grateful. All right. Let's see. Bronco and VA says, so you're saying the destination is more important than the journey? Wow. Well, that's a good one, Bronco and VA. You made me think about that one. I wouldn't say, well, yeah, I would say the destination is more important because, I mean, the journey is great. Don't get me wrong. The journey is great, and you need stepping stones to get to where you want to be. And you need people to help you along the way. I understand that. But I think in this instance, DeMarcus Ware is saying, hey, you know what? I won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. They gave me an opportunity to come and play with Peyton Manning and Von Miller and Champ Bailey and Demaryius Thomas and all these great receivers and athletes and things. They gave me an opportunity to come over and win a championship that I had not ever experienced in Dallas. I think that's why the destination is better in DeMarcus Ware's opinion than his journey, because it ended up with the ultimate prize. The ultimate prize when you're playing is a Super Bowl championship. The ultimate prize when you're retired is a Hall of Fame. He got both with Denver. Now, would he have gotten the Hall of Fame with Dallas? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll never find out. We'll never know. But I do know that he made it in the Hall of Fame because he had that Super Bowl ring and that Super Bowl championship right next to his name. That's why I'm saying with DeMarcus Ware, the destination means more to him than it does for the journey. That's evident by putting number 94 orange Broncos jersey in that cabinet. That's all I'm saying. But good point, though. Good point, Bronco and VA. Absolutely good point. All right. We're going to get to the one of two Jackass of the Week. This one is not nearly as bad, although I beg to differ when it comes to sports as opposed to crime. They're one and the same. But anyways, let's get to the first one of the Jackass of the Week. Okay. Once again, Mike Shanahan was once again passed over for induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay, we've said that many times. Why is this one different? Why does this one anger me so much? Why is this one the Jackass of the Week? Not because Shanahan is the jackass. No, it's the Hall of Fame freaking committee that's a Jackass of the Week. How in heaven's name can you pass up Mike Shanahan for this guy I'm going to name? Okay? And I know apples and oranges, you can't do decades compared to this decade. People say, who's the greatest quarterback in NFL history? Well, you got to base it on what? You got to base it on, was Johnny Unitas better than Fran Tarkenton? Was Gale Sayers better than Barry Sanders? They're all different generations. They're all different types of playing football. Some were a heavy run game all the time. Some were passing. You cannot put apples and oranges together. However, when it comes to the committee of the Hall of Frickin' Fame, they frickin' blew it big time. In my opinion, they blew it big time. And here it is. Instead of Mike Shanahan, the Hall of Fame Jackass of the Week Hall of Fame committee selected Buddy Parker, head coach for the Detroit Lions, who won back-to-back Super Bowls? Oh, no. Back-to-back NFL championships. Whoopee. How many teams were in the league back then? 5? 6? 10? This all happened in 1952 and 1953. So what? He won back-to-back NFL championships. Well, how many teams were in the freaking league, like I said? 8? 10? 12? Even if they had 15, that's only half of what the NFL has. That would be only half. And he went back-to-back with the Detroit Lions. Who cares? That's nothing major. Oh, was this a token entry because the only one that I know of that's in the Hall of Fame of the Detroit Lions of any big name? I mean, there must be that one, I think, is a lineman or something. Anyways, I'm thinking of Barry Sanders. Okay? I mean, there could be some others, but not recently. Definitely not recently. And Mike Shanahan was passed over again because this Hall of Fame committee is a jackass. I'm telling you, they put Buddy Parker in there in a token. Absolute token in my mind. Why? He didn't do anything special. Mike Shanahan went back-to-back Super Bowl championships with 30 teams in the league. Or is it 32? 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah, 32. 32 teams in the league. I know they didn't have 32 teams back in 1952. I can guarantee you that. So you got 32 teams in the NFL. Denver went back-to-back. Oh, let me remind you, they beat the Green Bay Packers. They were underdog by 13 points, and they beat them. And then they turn around and they just blasted past a Dan Reeves coach Atlanta Falcons team. And speaking of Dan Reeves, the late Dan Reeves, he wasn't even considered. He was kicked out too. So you have both former Bronco head coaches, Mike Shanahan and Dan Reeves, eliminated from being inducted in the Hall of Fame because they put in this Buddy Parker guy. And Mike Shanahan not only went back-to-back with the Denver Broncos, but he has a coaching tree that continues to this day. Sean McVay, his son Kyle Shanahan, and others on that Shanahan tree, and it still lives on. Yet Shanahan is kicked to the curb every single freaking year. Why? Because in my opinion, the NFL can't stand the Broncos. And maybe they don't even like Mike Shanahan because of some things personal or something. I don't know what it is, but it absolutely irritates this guy. And I am so frustrated at the fact that they keep kicking Shanahan to the curb. And I know that Dan Reeves didn't win a Super Bowl, but he sure played and was in, I think, 7 or 9 of them. And Mike Shanahan, not only did he win back-to-back Super Bowls, but he was in the AFC Championship games time after time, in the playoffs time after time. He coached Terrell Davis. I mean, obviously he's not the running back coach, but you know what I'm saying? He's a head coach. He was the head coach when Terrell Davis ran for 2,000 yards this season. He was the head coach when Terrell Davis was the league MVP and Super Bowl 32 MVP. He's also the head coach when John Elway was the Super Bowl 33 MVP. And yet he's kicked to the curb again. Over and over and over and over. And I'm sick and freaking tired of this Hall of Fame committee snubbing the Broncos left and right. Left and right. I don't know if Randy Gradishar is going to make it to the finals. I'm not sure. Somebody from the Broncos should. We have so many players that need to be and should be in the Hall of Fame. And it starts with Mike Shanahan. Heck, the committee even waited until Pat Bowlen was deceased before they put him in. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I'm up to freaking here with the snubbing that the NFL and the Hall of Fame committee treats, how they treat the Denver Bronco players, coaches, organization. I'm sick and freaking tired of it. All right, deep breath. All right. Okay. Let me do the jackass of the week one more time because this one is really bad. The other one was football related and personal because it's the Broncos. This one is, well, hold on, guys. Hold on. Here it comes. The second and most, this isn't really the jackass of the week. This is more like jackass of the past several months and a year. Here we go. All right, guys. I don't know how many guys or how many people out there when it's the Broncos in the Chiefs game or whether it's the Chiefs and whomever game, and you see this guy in the stands and he's wearing this gray wolf kind of a suit. He's got this wolf face on. He's all dressed up. Doesn't matter what the weather is. The guy is freaking decked out to the hilt. And he's he's what the Chief players, the organization, the fans, they call him the super fan or the Chiefsaholic. So let's get into this. This guy may look like a wolf, or I should say a sheep in wolf's clothing. Far from being a sheep. Here we go. Kansas City Chiefs super fan, the one who dresses in a gray wolf suit for games, has been arrested in California on, are you ready for this, guys? On 11 counts of money laundering, 4 counts of transporting stolen property across state lines, 3 counts of armed bank robbery, and 1 count of bank theft. He laundered the proceeds through casinos in the Midwest and used the funds to attend Chiefs home and away games. Oh, boy. That's how he got in there, huh? That's how he got in there? Wow. I continue. His name is Xavier Badudar, age 29. Badudar fled while out on bond for a stretch of 6 robberies and 2 attempted burglaries during that 9-month spree. All this occurred in 2022. He was captured by the FBI near Sacramento on July 7th of this year. Wow. Talk about jackass of the week / month / year. You got to be kidding me. This guy is an absolute, it's funny when people like to dress up, going to games. They like to dress up and show their spirit. You got Raider fan that's out there with the spikes on their shoulders that stick up like this, or, like this on both sides, whatever, and then you got, all these other guys coming out. You got, this guy, this moron, this freaking jackass of the week and month, year, going out there in this, gray wolf, suit with a Kansas City hat on, everything. And then, everybody goes, oh man, that guy's cool, man. That guy's really cool. No, he isn't. See, you can't judge a book by its cover, or you can't judge a person by what they're wearing. Underneath is what it counts. This guy is a criminal, absolute criminal. Bank robbery, armed robbery, 11 counts. What did I say? 11 counts of money laundering, so that he could go to these freaking Kansas City Chiefs games and act like he's all Joe Cool. Well, no, you're not Joe Cool, dude. You're an idiot. You're a jackass. You're a moron. And you deserve prison time. Absolutely. If the FBI got involved in this, the FBI arrested him in Sacramento on July 7th. Now, if the FBI is getting involved in this, it's bigger than just, the city police or the sheriff. No. You get the FBI in there, yeah, you're doing bank robberies, you're doing armed robbery, you're doing money laundering involving casinos. Yeah, big time. I hope they slap cuffs on you. I hope they put you away for many years. Many years. Could I attribute it to, could I just say, typical Chiefs fan? No, I can't say that because I don't know. I mean, this is the only one I've heard, but man, oh man. People they don't get it. They absolutely don't get it. They think they're above the law. They think they can do whatever the heck they want. Well, you know what? How many times do I got to keep bringing the jackass of the week to everybody out there that says this stuff isn't going away? And these people and these idiots don't learn. They don't learn. Absolutely don't learn. And they never will. They think that they're better than the law. I can beat the law. Ain't no problem. I'm in a wolf suit. Nobody knows what I look like. Well, they do now. They do now, buddy. And I hope you rot in prison. Hope you don't get to see any Chiefs games, by the way, either. Hope you don't. Anyways. All right. Moving on. I got 1, 2, 3 more topics, guys. All right. And then we're going to wrap this up. All right. Here we go. Josh Cohen of CBS Sports took a shot at Russell Wilson before the first snap against the Cardinals. He said on Twitter, and I quote, "For the sake of football, I hope Sean Payton fixes Russell Wilson. Watching this guy point to the sky after breaking the huddle in a preseason game sure does make it hard to root for this clown." End quote. What? So Russell Wilson, he's a very, very religious person. He's a devout Christian. And he mentions it many times. And when he points to the sky, we have baseball players that do that. I see it all the time after they hit a home run, they come across home plate, or they point to the sky. They may be pointing for various reasons. Maybe it's their brother, their sister, their mom, their dad. Maybe it's God. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're just doing it. They're just showing respect and honor for what's in their heart. Okay. How is that wrong? How is that wrong? I continue. It's not a secret that Wilson is vocal about his faith. However, when you go as far as to use someone's religious beliefs as a form of criticism, I think a line is crossed in the sand, period. I totally agree. Totally agree. This guy, Josh Cohen, is an absolute moron. He is using to try and throw trash and dirt on Russell Wilson for his faith because he points to the sky. Then why don't we mention that for everybody else that does it? Huh? Why are you picking on Russell Wilson? Why are you picking on Russell Wilson? Why? Oh, because he mentions it during press conferences. Hey, we got freedom of speech, guys. We have freedom of religion. We have freedoms of those two things that have not been taken away as of yet. We have that. What is wrong with that? What's wrong is Josh Cohen doesn't have anything else to pick on or anyone else to pick on. So he picks on Russell Wilson. Why? Because he pointed to the sky. Like that is something egregiously wrong. You can't do that. No, you can do that. The problem of it is he's making basically light and fun of this when it has nothing to do with with Russell Wilson's gameplay. You want to pick on something, pick on Russell Wilson for throwing an incomplete pass or having a pass batted down, which happened. Or, throwing a ball too high to catch or too low to catch or too far out to the right or left to catch. Pick on that. Pick on his footwork. Pick on whatever you want. You should not pick on a guy's faith because that is personal. People say you don't want to talk about politics. You don't want to talk about religion. But yet this guy, Josh Cohen of CBS Sports, decided that that's the thing he wanted to pick on Russell Wilson for. Well, in my opinion, if that's the only thing you got to pick on him for, then that means he's doing better on the field and doing better in passing and doing better in the game plan. So yeah, go after it if you want. Me personally, I think it's cowardice. I think it's chicken. I think it's petty. And I think Josh Cohen, you're in the wrong. You're absolutely in the wrong. And I'm gonna call you out on it because I absolutely think you're in the wrong. Okay? Plain and simple. Bottom line. Okay. All right. Let's go to the last topic. Now, this one's kind of interesting. And I know I'm going to be facetious when I say all this stuff, guys, but here we go. With the Washington Redskins changing their name to the Commanders and the Cleveland Indians have changed their name to the Guardians, are the Broncos now the Denver Saints? No, of course not. We're not the Denver Saints. But sure looks like we could be. Could be the Denver Broncos / Saints because of this coming up. Here we go. Well, Sean Payton has brought over 9 former players from the Saints. Here they are. Tight end Adam Troutman, tight end Chris Manhertz, wide receiver Marquez Callaway, wide receiver Lil Jordan Humphrey, running back Troy Jones, running back Dwayne Washington, not Troy Jones, Tony Jones, running back Dwayne Washington, fullback Michael Burton, kicker Brett Maher. Yes, Maher was on the Cowboys last year, but he started out with the Saints, and defensive lineman Jordan Jackson. Now, Jordan Jackson's the only one on that list that never played under Sean Payton. However, he was on the Saints last year, but Payton was in the broadcast booth or the commentary, before the game. So he wasn't actually under Sean Payton, but he was on the Saints. That's 9 players that Sean Payton has brought in from the New Orleans Saints. That's why I said, is it really the Denver Broncos? Of course it is, guys. Of course it is. I'm not that stupid. Of course it's the Broncos. They're not going to change their name. But it's just interesting that many players have come over from the Saints to be with Sean Payton. Speaks volumes about Sean Payton. Absolutely it does. But it also speaks volumes about them wanting to be on the Broncos team headed by Sean Payton because of the possibility of being in the playoffs, of which the Saints haven't been in quite a while. Now, I know that when head coaches come over, they like to bring their own players. But there weren't too many Green Bay Packer players coming over to Denver last year when we had Hackett. What's that tell you, guys? That tells me that they didn't believe in Hackett either. Just saying. Just being honest. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I bring the truth and my comments. All right, last topic of tonight's show. Before I do get into that, Jerry Wallace. Welcome, Jerry. Glad to have you in the house. Thanks for being in the chat. Hope he's got a plan. Yeah, I hope he's got a plan as well, man. That's just, I don't know. I mean, he brings in all these guys, and hopefully, like I said, has a plan, and everything works out. We'll see a little bit more on Saturday when they get to the San Francisco game. Before I get into that, before I get into the last topic, I was going to bring that in. I'm glad you brought that up, Jerry. It made me think about this. The Broncos play the 49ers this Saturday at San Francisco. Now, I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, there's a hurricane that's going through Southern California. It's going to go all the way up through California. It might miss San Francisco. The brunt of it might miss San Francisco. It's supposed to hit in the San Diego area sometime tomorrow night. That means it won't be in the San Francisco area till probably Sunday, late Sunday. So the game should go on. Maybe some wind and things like that for the front part of the hurricane, which is going to be reduced to a tropical storm. It's still going to pack about 70-mile-per-hour winds. So it's going to be very, very windy and all that. It's already getting darker here. It's only 6 o'clock, and normally the sun doesn't go down, but we're getting some darkness. So hurricane is pushing through, or the tropical storm or whatever, but it's going to be ugly. Anyways, the game should go on. So that is tomorrow night in San Francisco. I am going to go out on a limb and say the Broncos win this game 21-16. 21-16 Denver. Russell Wilson is going to have a great first half. I believe he's playing the first half. I think Justin Simmons is going to be back. If not Justin Simmons, it's going to be Patrick. Oh, I'm sorry. Patrick Shanahan is going to be back. So I'm expecting a really, really good game from the Broncos starters, at least for the first half. Jerry says, what time's the game? Don't have my phone with me right now. I believe the game is going to be 5 o'clock Pacific time or 6 o'clock Pacific time. I'm not sure, but you can go on NFL.com on your computer or phone or whatever. Look up preseason game times, and it will tell you. I'm pretty sure it's going to be around 5 or 6, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's going to be 7. I don't believe it's going to be 7 Pacific time, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be either 5 or 6 Pacific time. I'm not even sure if it's going to be on NFL Network. That's something I need to look up. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't have that prepared. That's my fault. But yeah, I believe it's going to be either 5 or 6 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow night. All right, now let's get into the last topic for tonight's show. Here it is. The Broncos will be wearing their alternate helmet for 2 games. Both of those games will be in Denver. The games will be week 5, of course, against the New York Jets, and all of that hype from what Sean Payton is, trash talk Hackett, now Hackett and Aaron Rodgers and the head coach of the Jets are, firing back and, shooting arrows over the bow of the ship, so to speak. So that's going to be the first game that they wear their alternate jerseys and the all-white Broncos alternate helmet. Second game is going to be Christmas Eve. How ironic, because the white helmet signifies the white snow on the Rocky Mountains, and Christmas Eve in Colorado could be a white Christmas, could be a snow. So it's coincidental or ironic or maybe planned that the Broncos will be wearing their alternate uniforms and that white alternate helmet at the home game on Christmas Eve against the New England Patriots. So there you go, guys. That's everything I have. That's interesting. That of course it would be against the Jets. Of course it would be. Why else would you wear anything else other than alternate? It's fitting. And then of course the Christmas Eve one is fitting with the New England Patriots. Absolutely. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for your participation, for your comments. Avatar, as always, we got Avatar, we got Bronco and VA 9986. We have Jerry Wallace. Thank you guys so much for being in the chat. Thanks for your comments. As always, I mentioned many times, if it wasn't for you guys that show support and comments in the chat, the show would not be anywhere near as good as it is. You guys make it the best it possibly can be. Thank you guys so much. All right. Before we get out of here, just remember the shows that are coming up Monday through Friday. Monday is the Cluster Puck. Tuesday is the 5280, followed by No Nonsense and Whiskey. Wednesday is Wild Wild West. Thursday is Brew, Orange and Brews. And then this show Friday, every Friday, 5 p.m. On the Pacific Coast, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This show, Broncos Breakdown, hosted by me, Broncos Bill, is here every single Friday. So, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to batten down the hatches as Hurricane Hillary is approaching Southern California, and I'm just going to brace and hopefully that things work out. If everything does, guys, I'll be here next Friday. So look forward to that. Once again, guys, till next Friday, cross your finger. Till next Friday, you guys take care. We will talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.